Welcome on board, Theseus.
We are here to introduce Theseus, which is our storied visual approach to communicating results from our futures-oriented scenarios.
We started out by having futures workshops, which actually kicked off the whole coaching project. And from there we got quite a lot of materials produced by experts envisioning futures of emerging technologies.
And we wanted to bring all those together somehow and create one story that would capture the most important things about all the expert narratives. And it was not an easy. So we got Samuel, the artist here, involved in that process with us to ideate how it could look like. Firstly, how could the concepts look like? How could we bring all those information together? And then how could we visualize it in an appealing format?
And somehow this world was created, the world of Theseus, and it's kind of mysterious where this name Theseus came from, but it was probably something subconscious when we were balling these ideas out. And then I Googled and researched Theseus and found out that it's a paradox from back in the antiquities, describing this idea that a ship starts from a port and it travels through the seas and then it returns to the port, but all of its parts are exchanged through the journey. And when it returns, the idea or the paradox is that is it actually the same ship? And I think it was a really great image of Europe in general, that we are this kind of almost like a composite of different nationalities and different cultures as well. Also an image of research in general, because we have all these different fields that are trying to understand each other, and it's always evolving the whole bigger picture of things. So we want to create this kind of a mini society on this ship that is traveling through the seas, trying to figure out different problems related to technology, and that's how the ship started its life.
So one of the core purposes of the Project Forging is to familiarize ourselves with emerging technologies and their possibilities. And with this work that we did on Theseus and the story of Theseus, we wanted to bring the human perspective and the emerging technology together so that we actually can understand what we mean by Industry 5.0, which places the human at the center of industry.
So what we tried to do was bring the concepts and the technologies and the expert stories even to a more human level and closer to humans and our everyday lives, and like explaining it through the emotions and everyday doings of people, the characters of the story.
What the expectable that we wanted to move away from was to turn this into a crazy sci-fi type of visual narrative, and we very consciously steered away from that and incorporated instead other elements that communicated the symbolism we wanted to convey around responsibility, dialogue, collective sense-making and shaping of these technologies.
We created the story you're now seeing about a ship that travels through the seas of Europe and across the globe 2050. It's a calendar where you can jump into individual dates, or you can walk through the whole story, story by story, event by event. And the idea here is for us to visualize somehow how future could look like 2050.
Stories are extraordinary sense-making devices, and we wanted to make use of that rich tradition of storytelling, enriched with an integration of narrative and visual storytelling, to convey the experiences of characters that, yes, are fiction characters, through their interactions with technology. But through that, we wanted to prompt in you also reactions, emotions. You can identify or not with the actions, the trajectories, the stories, the experiences of these characters. Pick a word to define or capture the essence of what Theseus represents for each of us. Sophie, would you like to share with us?
Yes, of course. So for me, the keyword would be participation. So this is one way to turn these expert workshops into an accessible approach for anybody to understand emerging technologies and how they can bring value to everyday life.
For me, the keyword would be human, because the stories bring the technologies closer to how humans actually experience them in their daily lives, and generate or help generate empathy towards these non-existing future people who actually live with these emerging technologies that we still don't have in our lives now.
And I would say, as an illustrator for the project, my keyword would be dialogue, because I think for me the most amazing part of the whole project has been the dialogue between trying to visualize the future, and then to have discussion with actual researchers about actual facts and matters about the future. Well, we can't talk about facts yet, but at least educated guesses, I guess.
Excellent. I guess to me, the word would be agency, because through the stories and throughout the process, we tried to highlight the role played by human decision-making and the responsibility of individuals in the shaping of opportunities afforded by these technologies.